And to lead us in singing of some kind of an anthem, how about Lion Rick Johnson?
Only if I can get him to sing with me.
That's it, David.
Get started.
So,
Go ahead. You can do it, yeah.
My
you know, I hear we have a birthday today. Remember about that? Okay, somebody that knows about it, talk about it.
and Camarda.
And Tamarda, I think a happy birthday is in order for Anne, don't you? Okay. Happy birthday. Thank you all. Okay. Now, Anne, speaking of Anne, she can grace us with our guest introductions, or somebody back there at the back table with the gamers.
President Cheryl, I as the guest, we have one guest today who we introduced by George, John Dunn.
We got a couple of others too.
They didn't sign in?
Oh, no. The sheet right here. Okay, welcome, Mike and Debbie. We're glad you're here today. And speaking of Debbie, I think Debbie has some things she might want to share with us. Go for it, girl.
Past District Governor Debbie Mansell.
Hi, everyone. So this year I'm working in the role of District LCIF Coordinator. And I'm here today because your club, some of your members have some recognition pins from LCIF. So I want to first, before we do that, give you a little update on where we are with our goals for LCIF. So every year, LCIF gives each of the districts a goal. And our goal in district and this year was to reach $60,000 in donations. And I want to report that we're currently over 45,000. And so we are reaching our goal. So another one of our goals is to increase the personal donations. So you know your clubs can give donations, but also individuals can give donations too. And your members have been doing that. So we have 6 members that we'd like to recognize today that have made personal donations. So there is a new recognition pin this year, Dr. Patty Hill recognition pin. And for a $50 donation, you get a bronze pin. For a $100 donation, a silver pin. And for $200 or more, you get a gold pin. And you have 6 members who are getting gold pins today. Okay. So it was another really great thing is for your 100th anniversary, you had a lot of donations that went to LCIF. So I want to just look again, $8,600 you've given this year. So that was really wonderful. And I had to check and see what, I couldn't remember exactly how many of Melvin Jones you gave out, but 11 Melvin Jones and 5 progressives. So that was another great donation. So thank you. All right, so I'm going to call some numbers up here. These are all gold pins. So Hal Palmer, come on up. So Cal has been really great this year, making monthly donations, really putting that money in. So thank you so much for your dedication in doing that. Cindy Sessions. So Cindy made a couple of big donations this year from Melvin Jones, so that was really awesome. So there is your gold pin. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
We're newbies. Got it.
All right.
Did you really get?
Greg first. Come on up, another big donation. Hey, Jim Waters. Jim here today?
No.
Okay. Mark Kelch. Okay, and Roger Karnofsky? Roger? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your donations and thank you for supporting your foundation.
Microphone. Don't put it down there.
Thank you so much, Past District Governor Davies. Okay. Moving right along here. It's time to restate the nomination of Rick Johnson as interim third vice president to serve between the end of the month and June 30th. Nominations are also open from the floor. So, having said that, do I hear any further nominations? Hearing none, this constitutes the second reading of the nominations for interim vice president and the coming club election, which will be held next week at our next week's meeting. So get your voting hands ready. I guess we do this by, do we do it by oral vote or show of hands? Show of hands, okay. So practice raising your hand and we'll do that next week. So now, today's reading of the nominations is now closed. Tail twisters, it's your time to shine.
Okay, get out your money. Oh, yes, right here. And Cindy is my helper today. I've been deserted. Snap.
Hey, thanks. President Cho, fell lines again. 5 happy bucks. Yes, last week at this time, I was seriously contemplating going to the bathroom in my recliner. I'm telling you, COVID 3.0, not good. Not good, not good, not good. The body ache was such that every breath was oh, God, take me home. Take me home. So Thursday first, I'm sorry, Friday morning was the first negative COVID test, Saturday the second. As I tested to my kids, the brain fog is cleared. I think I now know all 3 of your names.
Good.
So that's the big first thing, second happy bucks. Third happy buck is that, yes, we did join some friends camping on Saturday night, Silver Lake RV Resort.
Bounced right back, did you?
Ellen, it was just lovely. Of course, had some camp chili and a beverage, and you know, there's just nothing like waking up with the smell of campfire in your hair. It's just kind of fun. It's even better when you wake up in your own bed next to your nice hot shower, wearing pajamas, not in a camper. So that's even better. Fourth happy buck is the fact that this week, Jerry and I are actually going to be in the same state almost the entire week. So that's going to be plus. Going to go visit her on Wednesday night.
Excellent.
Well, that's fun. The big one, fifth happy buck and final is that for all of you who have already paid your dues, thank you very much. For those of you who have not received your dues in the mail, you're not in the room because I haven't mailed them yet. They're going to be going out this week. We're still in fine shape. Life is good. Don't worry about it at all. Okay. And, yeah, your money is safe with me.
But if you still owe up, pay up. Hi, when you can.
President Cheryl, and yes, we have three happy bucks here. One of them is that I'm happy to be here myself. Had kind of a weird December. We had a water leak at the Centralia office. Had to redo the floors. And so that's getting fixed today, I think, hopefully this week. And $1 for Cindy and her greatness, and that she's here today. And we do have a truck full of plastic out the back of my truck to turn in. So that's good.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Thank you. Yes, take his money. Hey, money, money, money,
Well,
money. You take it for money? No, you aren't? Oh. gee. Terry.
Jim Rankin. Sheriff, President Cheryl, fellow lines and guests, happy dollar for being called upon for a change.
Yeah. Oh.
Mr. Rocky, do you want to say something? Then yes?
That's program, isn't it? Yeah.
Pretty much.
President Cheryl, fellow lines and guests, I have semi-happy dollars. I made my monthly trip to the emergency room.
All right.
Okay. And I'm here today, and I understand the sad part. My friend John Claypool is not here today because he's getting ready to get something medically done. I tell you what, you get up there about 30, 50, 70.
Yeah.
You get up there, the fates step in and you have to be happy to survive.
That's right.
Thank you, Jim. Hello, hello. Oh. Mrs.
Whoa. The leader speaks.
President Cheryl. Fellow lawyer. Thank you. I have two happy bucks because our dear friends, the Botans are back from their trip in Florida, even though it was not for good reason. But they're here. Yay!
We're glad to see you, Ken and Marnie. Is that for us? We're just sitting there because it looks pretty.
You must have.
Cindy's candy bar. One? No.
Okay.
Not for sale.
Mr. Mark Manzel.
PDG.
President Cheryl, fellow lines and guests, pretty good. I'm doing
Yeah.
good. I'm happy to be back in America.
America.
But the song, I was the opening song here.
Yeah.
I was super impressed. And then I was thinking, I hope we don't have a birthday. And lo and behold,
There's
we have the
perfect.
epitome of excellence and the epitome of having fun.
Yeah.
So I am just so thankful to be back in our district. So thank you.
Oh, Rick, you are gonna say something now? I think that would be $2.
Kayla and Cheryl, fellow lines guests, I am young enough to serve, so I'll be next week.
Is that a campaign speech?
Stepping up. Oh, you can't have my candy bar. Pass that for Governor Debbie.
Yeah, so,
President Cheryl and Bell Alliance. I'm happy to be home from India too. It was a great experience, but boy, it really makes you appreciate being home. You live in a wonderful country, so we should all be thankful for that. My second one is kind of a sad, but although we made it home, our luggage did not.
Hey, Bob's gonna try to help us.
Hey, Bob's gonna help.
Somebody in India is rocking your clothes, Debbie.
People are using marks.
You're wrong.
That was really good. Okay. So we'll talk about that.
What I hear.
Mr. Hal Palmer.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Happy,
the phone. No,
Oh,
it's
sir.
the door. No, they can just get in.
happy $5. First one, I was so concerned about Pastor Governor Mark going to India. Actually called into a QuickBooks to see if I could talk to him. You don't have the tone yet, do you? Don't have it down. My son-in-law can imitate any support company from India possible. It's hilarious. Second happy buck is my brother made it all day yesterday, working, and today. Whoa, that's 2 in a row. You gonna make it till 4?
Yesterday was a holiday.
Yeah, it wasn't a holiday for our business. Third happy dollar is that Mark and Debbie are back safe. I remember the time that I went to Vegas and my luggage went to Hawaii, and I thought that wasn't fair. So hopefully they'll put a stamp on it. And finally, Robin, good to see you.
Hey, Al, your brother was working.
Yeah.
Cindy.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have some happy dollars. One, I'm still happily retired. Yay.
Yeah.
Two, I have an ongoing saga with the US government. Okay, so some of you know, one, that I'm now retired, I'm applying for Social Security. That check is still somewhere in the mail. But the other one is I recall a while back, I mentioned that Jim and I filed our taxes last year. We're expecting a refund. Somebody filed our tax return before us, so we had to go through all kinds of hoops and whistles. Well, I made a call on Thursday. It's been sitting on somebody's desk at the IRS since May last year. So we're supposed to be getting a refund by, get this, April 15th this year for last year's tax return.
That's good.
Also a concession dollar on the Vegas money I won. For those of you that know how I bet, I picked 5 teams, $20 a piece. My winnings for this year's Super Bowl was 120, so do the math.
20% return on your money.
I can't do the math.
Yes.
Get the math. Yeah, sure. Are you okay, Walt, to speak? Okay.
Jealous.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have a couple of happy dollars. Just really happy to see past president and past district governor Jim Riley here today. I could say that your German hasn't improved very much. Colonel Clay.
But he still
Sir,
has the German clock though.
sorry. Flung it first.
Yeah.
Well, Hal's comment on the customer service,
Yes.
for QuickBooks, I forgot to tell you, when we were in India, I had a problem with my QuickBooks and the call customer service. I got someone in Iowa.
Oh.
President Joe, Lines, you guess, like Paul,
commented, it's always good to see Jim Reineke here. Yeah, when he's here, I'm not the ugliest one there.
Oh, that was mean. Yeah, Walt spoke up on that one. All right, that's it, we're done.
All right, thank you very much, you guys. Okay. And sunshine report, I think you want to share some bad news and, maybe expand on that just a little bit.
Cheryl, yes, so most of us know that Mikey was sick.
What?
Mikey Gardner.
Right.
He was in the hospital.
Gloria Lee, if you don't know her, is my feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's in hospice here on 11th Avenue. I gave you the card, that everybody signed a couple of weeks ago, and she did pass away on Friday. So we had a card here for her husband Dave, and, we sent out flowers today. And then also, John Claypool wasn't gonna tell anybody, but he's having a pacemaker surgery. And he decided to tell everybody because he would like the prayers and good thoughts for tomorrow.
All right. New pacemaker for John Claypool. Please keep him in your prayers. Think about him. Wish him the best. Okay, I think, George, you're up. It's your time to shine. Briefly.
Really brief.
Shortly. President Cheryl, fellow Lions, and my one guest. Pleasure to be your program chair again. And to introduce John Diamond, who's the executive director of Cal's 911. 911 responders are a very unique job. They don't get their picture in the paper for taking the baby out of the burning home or the kid out of the tree. They don't get to ride the ambulance to the hospital with the accident victim. In fact, sometimes when somebody comes up here into their shift, they don't even know how the outcome is. They just go back to work the next day, but they're critical. What they do, dispatching all the emergency services, and coordinating the communications among them when there's an incident. And they're a difficult group to supervise, I'm told.
Yes.
Which is John's job. He's also got a difficult job of reporting. He still reports to since it's your tax dollars, only elected officials can approve those expenditures. So he still reports to a board of political acts, like when I was on. Wait, that didn't come on right.
Yeah, but accurate.
I understand they have streamlined that a little bit. Now, John did not give me biographical information because I asked him to tell us a little bit about his background. He is new to the area, and I just met him myself half an hour ago. I do know a short story about him that I'll share with you. You can check with him on Q&A if it's true or not. But John told me about going on to some training back in Michigan in the winter. Some of the fellows who wanted to race decided to try ice pitching. Like people talk about locally, so they ran a bunch of urine, and now they set up on the ice and you got the auger out there, cut a hole, and this voice moved from above. There are no fish under the ice. They moved new location, started to set up, and again the voice. There are no fish under the ice. Now they get a little rattled. They moved again, and they didn't have time to set up the gear. There are no fish under the ice. One of the directors from Oregon said, "Is this the Lord speaking?" No, this is the reef pastor.
You can overcome that, John. It's real easy. We all have.
You still overcome. This time, please help me give a warm Lions welcome to the Executive Director of 911, John Diamond.
Thank you very much. How much time do I have?
You're done.
About 30 minutes. So I did a little head count. There's about 50 of you. So if you each take 30 seconds to introduce yourself. That's right. That's what we'll have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm new to Longview, newish. I moved here 2 years ago. And for the job. And as was mentioned, as the executive director of Palace 911, I answer to a board, and that board is 9 people. They're elected and appointed officials. We have a county commissioner, we have the 2 city managers of Kelso and Longview, we have a fire commissioner, we have a police chief, we have another police chief representing small law enforcement agencies, and a fire chief representing small fire districts, and one of the commissioners from Cal's 2 fires. I think I got them all. I'll figure it out tomorrow on my board meeting. So
I have no idea why it's out of focus, but it's out of focus on,
just on that one fire, huh?
yeah,
Well, that's good, then I can make stuff up.
that's right.
All right, so.
Oh, there it
There
is.
you go.
I gotta click every time you say something.
Oh, really? Go ahead and click to get all of them up there.
Okay.
I don't know what to say otherwise. Oh, look, I keep talking about the board, I got that part right.
There you
So
go.
we dispatch for all public safety in Calhoun County. We have 6 police agencies, 6 fire agencies, and AMR ambulance service, and they have contracts with various agencies. That's what we do. We're responsible for receiving all 911 calls within the county jurisdiction. And we get a lot of them. Well, I think we get to that with some numbers here in just a minute. As far as how we're funded, well, first of all, Calhoun 911 used to be a department of the county until 2018, early 2019, where we became a public authority, a separate government entity, which is great. A lot of pros to it, few cons to it, but it's a great environment for our dispatchers to be in. Jokingly, because I don't work for any one agency, I work for a board. I can tell people, get out of my office. I don't do that. I don't do that. In serving the citizens of Calhoun County, we believe that we serve the citizens on behalf of those agencies. Those 12 agencies are our customers. And they're the ones that we do our best to serve. They're the ones that we want to communicate with. They're the ones that we want to provide critical information to so that they are safe, so they can do their jobs well, and so they can go home at the end of the day. That's what we do. We do that by, again, interacting with the public on their behalf. So we try to instill that in our dispatchers so that they put their best foot forward in providing that service to you, the citizens, on their behalf. And they do it really well. Dispatching is it's a difficult job. It's a really hard job. I forgot to tell you about me. Sorry, my bio real quick, because I used to be a dispatcher. My very first law enforcement gig was in 1988. I was a part-time dispatcher for a little tiny police department in Springville, Utah. And did that part-time, moved to Arizona, where I was a park ranger for the city of Mesa. And a park ranger in the city of Mesa is not a, hey boo-boo, here's a picnic basket. It's a, put down that beer and come with me in these pretty handcuffs. I did that for a few years. I got injured on duty and medically retired. So then I went into dispatch, and I dispatched for 9 years after that. I was on the street for about 3.5 years. And from that experience, one thing I will share with you is that getting struck by lightning is no fun. It hurts and it leaves marks, and then you get medically retired after it happens. So that's my brief law enforcement story.
Is that why your hair is still dark on top?
Is it dark?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Don't know. But it turns out lightning sometimes will paralyze you on and off. And there's all kinds of medical reasons and excuses they gave me. But if you can't pull a gun out of a holster, it turns out they don't want you on the street. But you can dispatch. So I dispatched for 9 years. And I feel like that experience is valuable to me, being a leader in public safety and in 911 communications. I did other things. After dispatching for 9 years, I realized that if I couldn't be out pushing a car around the streets, I didn't want to do it anymore. So I got out and I went into IT, I went into computers in about 2000. worked in the IT department of a casino in Southern California, and then moved and worked for a software company. It's the Spillman software, the software that we use in Cowlitz County, as well as across the country. I went to work for them. And ended up in Oak Harbor on Whidbey Island for 12 years. I was the IT manager for ICOM 911, Island County's 911 system. And while there, I dipped my toe in politics and had a lot of fun with it. I was elected to the school board twice. People didn't learn the lesson the first time. I was the school board president for 3 years there, and it gave me a lot of good insight. I learned a lot from that experience, made some mistakes, but I learned a lot. All of those things brought me together, brought me to the point in my career where I felt like I was qualified and able to lead a 911 center. Now, since I've been here since April of 2022, I've again learned a lot, made some mistakes, but it's a fantastic job. It's great work, and it's work that if you feel it in your bones, you can't get out of it. And I am delighted, proud, and honored to be back in public safety after having jumped out into the private sector for a while. So this slide will show the agencies that we serve. I mentioned those, the 6 fire, 6 police agencies. One of the previous slides mentioned funding. We don't just get money from the county anymore because they don't like us and they kick us out. I think it was the other way around, but
I think it was the other again.
so we have 3 sources of funding. One is telco taxes, telephone company taxes. If you look at your phone bill, for every line you have, be it a landline, a wireless line, a voice over IP line, whatever, for every line that you or anyone has within the county with a county address, we get 75 cents direct to the county, and the county passes it through to us. And then there's also a 25-cent tax that goes to the state. State plays with it, and then they give us part of it. The other is the 1/10 of 1% sales tax, which we are greatly appreciative of. That is what helped us be able to secure our bond to build our new building, and talk about that. The remainder of our budget comes from the user agencies. All of these 12 agencies pay us every quarter for us to provide that service for them. Next slide, if you would. So we're classified as a PSAP, Public Safety Answering Point. Some call it primary answering point. Some counties, because of the size of our county, we have one. Some of the larger counties, King County, Pierce County, they have multiple dispatch centers. Some police agencies choose to still have their own dispatch center, but the state pushes hard for regionalized 911. In July of 23, dispatchers were officially reclassified by the legislature. Dispatchers, believe it or not, were classified as clerical secretarial staff. Pretty cool.
Or not.
They are now classified by law, by RCW, as first responders, as is appropriate. Now we're doing a lot of legislative work to work out the details as far as retirements and benefits and things like that, as well as a statewide certification. Many states across the country have a statewide certification. Washington does not yet, but they're working toward that, which will be a huge benefit. Also, the being in the changing the retirement system. Right now, we're all in PERS, the Public Employee Retirement System. This gives us the option to go into PSERS, the Public Safety Retirement System, which is great. Instead of a dispatcher having to work for 35, 40 years in the field to be able to retire, now there'll be a similar retirement to corrections officers and probation officers, things like that. You can go ahead. Dispatchers, by their very nature, are the snoopiest people you know. They
More than an NSA?
What's that?
More than an NSA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a scary story about that.
Yeah.
Our dispatchers, they are good at reading people, they're good at digging through data. They can data mine our databases and our systems and our state systems and our federal systems better than most people I know. They find out about people, and it's important that they do that because that provides a lot of safety and comfort for the field units. We process over 200,000 calls per year. That's about 600 phone calls a day. Of those 600 phone calls, we generate anywhere from 250 to 320-ish calls for service, actual dispatchable CAT events that we send units on. That's a lot. One thing I've learned since being in Cowlitz County is I've looked at other agencies across the state and across the nation. And for agencies similar to our size, as far as the number of users being the field units, as well as the population, we seem to have about 1.5 times the call volume as other agencies that are similar to us. These are busy people. There's not a lot of downtime sitting around. A night shift, don't let them kid you, there's a little bit of it, but not a lot. So our dispatchers are, they're each a one-stop shop. A lot of larger agencies and some agencies close to our size, we're not quite big enough to do this. But they'll employ a dispatcher first as a call taker. Talk on the phone, take the calls, put the information in, and then a dispatcher picks it up, talks on the radio, sends the unit and does the things. Our people do all of it all at once. So it's kind of a unique workload. And it's a unique personality that can do that. It's a very tough job. It's I can't tell you how much I respect these folks. I wouldn't do it in today's world. It's gotten way too technical and way too difficult, but these people do it. They thrive on it, on the action, and they do it very, very well. We are currently budgeted for 24 dispatchers. We currently employ 16 with 2 in training and 1 starting next week in training. So we're excited that we have some people coming on board. The one we're bringing on next board is a lateral from another agency who used all the same softwares that we use. So hopefully she'll be really quick to get up to speed and get on the schedule. I mentioned the state standards and the new legislation. We really hope that that turns this profession around instead of just a job. It solidifies the community and those that might be interested that it is a career, it is a profession. It's a solid opportunity that someone can perform for years and years and years. Now, having said that, performing the job for years and years and years is, as I mentioned, a difficult task. How many of you ever called 911 just to say, hey, I'm having a wonderful day, I hope everything's great?
We thought we'd get fined if we did that.
I actually have, because I can. But no, they're people are calling in there because they need help. Sometimes it's help that we can provide easily and quickly. Sometimes it's folks having their very worst day. And it's hard. Sorry, I get a little emotional. They go through a significant amount of training, as you can see here. Our training currently takes about 9 to 11 months. Our last 2, we've gotten down to about 6 months. So we're improving our training processes, trying to get them up to speed on the schedule and working along with everyone else. It is a lot of training. As I said, it's a lot of work and it's a very difficult job. Our new cool building, the building on that side, your left, that's the Hall of Justice. Anybody ever been there? Has anybody ever been able to visit the old communication center in the basement?
Oh, yeah.
That we lovingly refer to as the dungeon? It had 7.5 foot high ceilings, no windows, carpeted walls that were moldy. Sorry.
That's because the
That's
water
what it
building.
is. You when you talk about the water,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to say water.
Yeah.
Horrible environment for people to live in 12 hours a day. Our dispatchers work 12-hour shifts. I'll talk a little bit more about the shifts. Finally, we were able to build a new building. By the way, our board, they're great people, they're very smart. They're great leaders, they're thoughtful, innovative people. But I'm here to tell you they lied. When they hired me in April of 22, they said, oh yeah, the building's gonna be done in June. Got a couple of months, it'll be done. You'll be in there by August, it's gonna be wonderful. Well, we got in there in July of 23. So I never dreamed that I would be a project manager on a $9 million building, but here we are. I learned more about reading construction plans than I ever thought I would or would need to. But if you haven't seen, oh, I have an old picture there, I'm sorry. On that block wall in front, we have our logo, it looks really cool. Yeah. If you haven't seen our new building, drive by it. If you want to call ahead, a few at a time, I'm happy to take you through the building and show you what the citizens of Calais County have done for us and for what we do. We went from 2,000 square feet in the dungeon, the basement, to about almost 13,000 square feet. I have to tell you about the teeter-totter toilets. It sounds like a tongue twister, it's not. At the Hall of Justice, we shared 2 bathrooms with the Department of Emergency Management. Those poor folks are still there. I hope they get out. Maybe they'll unlock the doors, who knows? But you could literally sit in one of the bathrooms on the commode, and if somebody went in the other one and sat, you did this. Pretty entertaining. You could.
That's the water table, come on.
It's a big scary pipe. But now we have 6 bathrooms to ourselves. Believe it or not, I've never seen 25 people more excited about 6 bathrooms. You can imagine. And I know I keep saying we have 16, 17, 18 people. We have 25, we have administrative staff. We have a lot of people that have been in Calais County for a long, long time. Jerry Jensen is our operations manager. Some of you may know Jerry. He's been with Calais 911 for 28 years. He's our operations manager. Deanna Wells is our vendor manager. She's been with the agency for 33 years. We have Brianna Harville, who's my executive assistant and our human resource person. Super sharp, super smart. I'm lucky to get to work with these folks. Don Turrentine worked at the county. He was one of the county IT managers. He's now our IT manager. We have probably a lot of you, the most popular one is Brandon Starr. Does anybody know Brandon? Brandon's amazing. The guy can just do anything and he doesn't know how to stop. He doesn't know how to go home. But he's our facilities manager and we hired him back in June of 22 to help oversee the construction and to learn the building from the ground up. I don't think I forgot anybody. We have a finance manager. We were without a finance manager for the last few months and we just hired one. She started last week and we're really excited to have her. And then there's me. Those people have all of these great jobs to do. They hire people, they make sure the bills get paid, they make sure our people get paid, they make sure we have contractors, they make sure we have technology and equipment. Jerry makes sure that all of them is really smooth. And my job is to go to the board and find money for them to do all of that with. So that's kind of the whole organization in a nutshell. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to get emotional during this, but I tell everyone this. I swore I wouldn't tell people this because after I told another group this, the Noon Rotary, you can blame it on them. I told them this on the Wednesday of their meeting. The very next day, it happened again here. But this happened at an agent at Island County 911. Just to let you know what dispatchers do. A dispatcher spoke with a lady on the phone whose house turns out was kind of a hoarded house, an older 40s, 50s house. You know, the windows are up high and they're narrow and long and hard to get into. She had a fire in her house. We got firefighters there, but they couldn't get into the building as quickly or as successfully as they wanted. The dispatcher, her name was Amy. She continued to talk to this lady until she died. And I kid you not, less than 3 minutes after she hung up the phone, this is 11:30 at night. The next 911 call was, my neighbor's dog is barking and I want somebody to do something about it.
Oh. Lucky it was a phone line.
So I would expect Amy to say, I really don't care about you or your neighbor's dog. Have a great night. But Amy said, I'm sorry that's happening to you. Let me see if I can find someone. We're a little busy, but I'm gonna get someone out to you. Is this a regularly occurring thing? You know, and just talked through it a little bit, and the person felt great. But by the end of the call, the person was like, oh, I think the dog is quiet now. I think I'm fine. Let's not worry about it. So that's what people expect of these dispatchers. They expect you to be there, to answer the phone, to be kind, to be understanding, and to talk you through whatever trauma you are going through. Many of you may know in April of 2019, Cowles County deputy murdered. That that dispatcher still works with us today. That was on the radio for that event. I don't know if you've seen them on TV shows or on YouTube or what, where they do. Sorry. Where they do on the radio, they do what's called the last call. When you lose someone. I don't know very many dispatchers who haven't been through some of that. Doing the last call. I could never do it when I was on the radio. I could never do the last call. But I cry too easily, too emotional. I can't do it. But this dispatcher literally did that real time. Did not raise Deputy DeRosa on the radio. That's a hard thing. Our dispatchers develop relationships with these folks. And with these first responders and the field units. And developing those relationships is good because they come to rely on each other. And I tell you these things so you understand that there are people behind that. Yes, it's a voice on the phone and they do it all day, every day, and they're really, really good at it. But it's a difficult task. And we do our best to help them, support them, or provide for them emotionally and mentally. In our new building, we have 2 quiet rooms with massage chairs and when I walk through with the sheriff and he's like, the sheriff happens to be the chair of my board right now. He said, you really have a $3,000 massage chair? Don't tell people about that. Yeah, I really do have a $3,000 massage chair and I might buy another one. When we had the opportunity to go into this new building with a new kitchen, I said, what do you guys want in the kitchen? And we let them have just about everything they want. We fell short at the ice cream machine. That didn't happen. But everything else they wanted, they got. Because we want them to know that we care and we take care of them and we'll get whatever we want. We have a waffle maker. Nobody's ever made waffles in there. If anybody knows how to cook waffles, come on over. So anyway, that leaves us just a few minutes, I think. Yep. Does anybody have any questions about 911 or what we do or how we do it?
No, I know you mentioned you have a budget for 24, staff of about 18 and 3 of our training. That's gotta be a lot of stress on your workforce. How are your recruiting efforts in that area?
It's difficult. Right now, there is a shortage of, like many industries, quite honestly, there's a shortage of employees. But specifically for 911, there are very, very few agencies across the state and across the nation that are fully staffed. Just up the road in Lewis County, they're budgeted for 18 and they have 9. Mason County is budgeted for 16 and they have 7. So I feel pretty lucky to have 18 right now. But yeah, it's a shortage and we're continuing to recruit. The difficulty right now is we have 3 in training, and that's about our capacity for training, because training is difficult. It takes a person, an experienced dispatcher, it takes a little bit away from their focus on what their job is to do the additional work of training in that effort. But yeah, recruiting is tough. We had a gentleman that applied that I had to call him this morning and tell him that we weren't going to move forward with him. We have a pretty strict background and psychological evaluation, things like that we go through. And if anybody ever wants to know anything about me, you know Chief Kirk, Dark Kirk, also, he did my background. And I called a friend of mine in Island County, who's a detective with the sheriff's office up there, who did my background in 2009 when I went to work for Island County. And I called him up and I said, Eddie, you know, I love you like a brother, but this guy made you look like an amateur. And yeah, Dark Kirk does a pretty healthy, intense background. It scared me a lot. But here I am. Any other questions about 911 or what we do? How we do it? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to relay about actually exactly 3 Mondays ago, I was delivering some product down on Industrial Way, and the lights at Porky's, Vancouver Bolt Supply, and that intersection were completely inoperative. So this is a 5-way, if you will, really intersection with the way it goes off to the Northwest Parkway down there. And I had come through, and as I came through the intersection, I slowed, I stopped, I looked, everything was fine. And so I came through, I looked in the rearview mirror and saw that now all 5 areas were filled with vehicles moving at the same time. I immediately called 911 and I said, hey, I just went through the intersection, you know where Porky's is, and I inadvertently said Pennant Way and Vancouver Bolt Supply, and she goes, oh, no, that's Industrial Way. I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. There's no lights there, and there's no problem right now, but there's going to be, all right? In the 30 seconds I was on the phone with that dispatcher, he's like, very cool, very, yes, we'll get somebody there right away. I don't know how it happened, but before I got to the light and that, whatever it is that goes down to, by the way, there were dispatch units there in the 30 to 40 seconds that it literally takes to drive through breath. And I remember thinking to myself, I am so happy for every tax dollar that goes through.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Most of that was probably luck, but the dispatchers, I mean, we're heavy on technology. As I mentioned, our building was about $9 million, $9,000. About $9 million. Our bond for the whole project was $16 million because we bought all new everything, all new technology, we built a new radio tower, we did all kinds of stuff. So our technology, the dispatchers can see on their screens where everybody is. They know what units are where and if they're, you know, what they're doing. And so it's easy for them to grab someone, to know where they are on the street, say, hey, go to this street, be there.
You know, let's be realistic, folks. Stuff that was in the basement at the Hall of Justice, you couldn't sell at the garage sale for $5.
That's very true.
A museum wouldn't take it for so long.
No, that's very true. We had some old equipment. In fact, some of our current radio equipment that we have at our tower sites, we also manage about 14 tower sites. Right now we're doing a study to revamp our radio system from top to bottom. And some of the equipment at these tower sites are 40 years old. And we're trying to get that fixed. So, any last one parting shot?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.